right, go to the next blank page in your journal. Today we are going to work on finding slope between 2 points. So we're going to write that up at the top as our title. Finding slope from 2 points. This is actually pretty simple. It'll go pretty quick, and then you can get on to your assignment for today. Okay, so when I talk about 2 points, I'm talking about 2 ordered pairs that I would find on a graph somewhere. So if we're talking about graphing points, I might have the ordered pair 19 minus 6, or negative 16, and then maybe something like negative 7, negative 15. So we've learned about that, what quadrant to find those in, how we go left or right first, and then up or down. We've also talked about finding rise over run to find slope. So when we see points like this, rather than drawing out a graph and drawing the little lines and figuring out where those points are and then counting rise over run, we can just do the math straight from these points. There's a shortcut that we can do. So we're going to talk about that. So first we're going to label our points. We know that this is x and this is y, right? When we're looking at a coordinate pair. So we're going to label these both x and y. But we have 2, so we're going to label this x1 and this y1. And then this is x2 and y2. So now that we have our coordinates labeled, we need to use our formula for finding slope from an ordered pair. So to find rise over run, which is change in y, how did the y change, how far did it go up, to change in x, which is how far left or right did we go, all we have to do is subtract to find the difference. So we're going to do, the formula is y2 minus y1, because we know that slope is y over x, right? So that y value goes on top, the x value goes on bottom. So after we have y2 over y1, or minus y1, we have x2 minus x1. So let's plug in what we have up here in our coordinates. y2 is negative 15. Then we subtract, and we subtract y1, and that is negative 16. Draw your fraction bar. Now we're going to put our x's on bottom. So x2 is negative 7 minus x1, which is 19. Now all we have to do is plug that into our calculator to determine what our y and x are. So I'm going to have negative 15 minus negative 16, and that gives me 1. And then there's negative 7 minus 19. And that is negative 26. There is your k value right there. That's our slope. 1 over 26, negative 1 over 26. So let's do our next example. Let's look at the ordered pairs 1 and negative 19. And then negative 2, negative 7. Let's label them. Always label them. x1, y1. x2, y2. Make sure you're writing this down. Pause if you need to, if I'm going too fast, or rewind a little bit if you need to. Remember, our formula is y2 minus y1, so let's do that first. y2 is negative 7 minus y1 is negative 19 over x2 is negative 2 minus x1 is 1. Now all I have to do is put that in the calculator. Negative 7 minus negative 19 so we do rise over run, that goes on top, so we have 12. And then I have negative 2 minus 1. And that gives me negative 3. Can I simplify that? It looks to me like I could simplify that. So I'm going to put that in my calculator. I'm going to do alpha y equals for fractions. And I'm going to do 12 over negative 3. When I hit enter, it's going to simplify it for me. My slope for this those 2 points is negative 4. Okay, let's do one more practice. Negative 4, 7, and negative 6, negative 4. Always label them. So we have x1, y1, x2, y2. Write those points and label those. Now we're going to take y2 minus y1. So y2 is negative 4 minus, we always subtract. If you look up here, y2 minus y1, we always subtract. So y2 is negative 4 minus y1 is 7 over x2 minus x1. x2 is negative 6 minus x1 is negative 4. Now we're going to put that in our calculator. Okay, we're going to try putting this whole thing in as a fraction, and it will simplify for us. So let's do that. Alpha y equals, there's our fraction option. We're going to hit enter. And then on the top, we're going to do negative 4 minus 7. Then hit the down arrow. Negative 6. Make sure you get minus a negative. Minus negative 4. When we hit equals, it gives us the slope for us in simplest form. So our slope for this equation is 11 over 2. Okay, you're now going to click next to go on to your assignment for today. Make sure that you are labeling each ordered pair with x1, y1, x2, y2. You can use the draw tool to do that before you set up your equation and then solve.